Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Shalom. Um, this lesson just going to be based on Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. His name is Yahushai, which means he saves. He's going to save his people, which are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans here in Babylon the Great, America, and whatever nations we may look like, which Yahushua is coming to save his elect, to save his people, the elect of Israel. And at the same time, he's going to be bringing destruction. He's going to totally crush the armies of the world. He's going to crush Esau, and he's going to put them all in subjection. But this lesson is primarily focused on Yahushua crushing these nations. And if there's a few scriptures which I have pulled that show how easily Yahushua is going to do this, for lack of a better word. Yahushua is going to make this look effortless. Because these nations, they built up their armies. The Babylon the Great, the U.S., Esau, Edom's armies, the so-called Esau, Edom being the so-called white man, the wicked. He's built up his armies. I mean, he has nukes, ICBMs, all kinds of different weapon technology. How do you call it? Like crowd control technology. He has cyber technology. You seen the other day. He can make your electronics explode in your pocket. He has laser weapons. And he's the sword of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Esau Edom's blessing is the sword. But he has all this technology, and when Yahushai returns, it's going to make him look, Yahushai is going to make him look stupid because of how easily he's going to destroy him. So I'm going to start here. This is Revelation chapter 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. So Yahushua is coming. He gave his signs of the signs of his return. What will be going on? He gave the signs of his return in Matthew 24. He told what will be going on during that time, and then the signs of when the Son of Man will return. But again, Revelation 1 and 7, behold, he cometh with the clouds being the chariot. So you have lots of different code words for the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You have chariots, wheels of fire, the clouds, a mountain. Lots of different names for the chariots. And these are just vehicles for the angels. So behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. Every eye is going to see Yahushai. And you'll read why. Because I'll get that in a moment. And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And those that pierced him, Yahushai left, and Yahushua died and resurrected and left in a cloud in a chariot over 2,000 years ago. So are those people, those men that pierced Yahushua, they're still alive? No, they're back here in the reincarnation. They're back here today. They're going to see Yahushua. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. And all the kindreds of the earth, they're going to be crying. They're going to be wailing, because especially these elites, because they know it's over for them. It's a wrap. It's done. It's over. Their rule is going to be taken away in this day. And it's going to be the rule of Israel after this, under Yahushua. So from here, I'll go to second Esdras. I was debating on I'll read it in GNT. So here's second Esdras chapter 13 and verse, let's see. I'll just start at verse 1. Second Esdras chapter 13 and verse 1 in the GNT. The 7 days passed, and the following night I had a dream. In my dream, I saw a wind coming up out of the sea and stirring up great waves, as I watched the wind with it, as I so like as I watched the wind brought with it, as I watched the wind brought with it out of the sea what looked like a man, and he was flying on the clouds. So what I just read that in Revelation 1:7. When he turned his face, everything he looked at began to tremble, because of how serious Yahushua is. And he's a austere man, you know. And when he spoke, everyone who heard his voice melted like wax in a fire. I looked again and saw a crowd too large to count. They were people gathered together from all parts of the world to fight against the man who had come up out of the sea. So this is all the armies of the world. They're already going to be fighting against one another during this time, because World War III is going to be going on. They're going to be gathered together in the Middle East, in the Valley of Yahweh, which means Yahweh's judgment. This is why you see a lot of things started by the small hats. A war is going to be gathered there. All the armies of the world are going to start to gather there. We're just in the beginning stages. But all these nations, like Ronald Reagan said, you know what? You know, maybe I'll put it after I finish this lesson. I'll put it at the end. You know, just record a separate thing to it. But 'cause I'm kind of short on time right now. But you know, Ronald Reagan said, "Hey, if there was in roughly paraphrasing, if there was an extraterrestrial threat or something like that, that all the nations they would put aside their differences and come together and fight. So all these nations are going to put aside their differences and try to fight against Yahushua." Again, 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 5 in the GNT. And when he spoke, everyone who heard his voice melted like wax in a fire. Or did I say verse 4 or 5? Salakia. 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and verse 5 in the GNT. I looked again and saw a crowd too large to count. There were people gathered together from all parts of the world to fight against a man who had come up out of the sea. Then I watched a man carve out a high mountain and fly upon it. So this is Yahushua's chariot. And I tried to see the place or region from which the mountain was carved, but I couldn't. And Ezra is trying to see the chariot that Yahushua, he's trying to see the ends of it. This chariot is so big, you know, like a mountain. Normally a mountain, you could see, you know, where it starts and where it ends. But this chariot is so huge that you can't see the ends of it. Verse 8, then I saw that all the people who had come together to make war against him were terrified. So the tribes of the earth are all mourning. Hey, these people are going to be terrified in these days. They're not going to want to fight. They should be too scared to fight. But the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to put the spirit on them, as I'll keep reading, but they still prepared to fight him. So they're gonna know what's up, but they're gonna be too scared. You know, they're gonna try to give their last hurrah speeches. You know, the giddy, you know, their Independence Day speeches and all that. They're gonna say this is the last hurrah. This is for humanity. All this stuff, whatever, and they're gonna try to fight. Verse 9. When the man saw the great crowd advancing to attack him, he did not take up any weapons. The only thing I saw was what looked like a stream of fire coming out of his mouth. He sent a flaming wind from his lips and a storm of sparks from his tongue. The stream of fire, the flaming wind, and the great storm combined and swept down on the crowds that was coming to attack him and burned them all up. In a single moment, that crowd too large to count vanished. So, showing you how powerful Yahushua is. And like I was saying earlier, all these armies have their technology and all this stuff, and they're just going to be wiped out in an instant. And it reminds me of the video Oh, I don't remember the brother's name, but the brother from LA that just put up his dream testimony, about the chariots, how they were zapping people and they were just turned into like a pink dust. And he said it was like Himalayan salt. So I'll keep reading. In a single moment, that crowd too large to count vanished, and there was nothing left but powdery ashes and the smell of smoke. So there's nothing left. There's just going to be ashes. This whole great army, in the KJV it says an innumerable multitude, meaning that you cannot count, how many people are in there, how big a number it is. This is all the armies of the world coming together to fight against Yahushua. And in an instant, hey, they're all going to be zapped. Imagine, the U.S. supposedly has the biggest armies in the world. The Marines, the Army, the Navy, Space Force, the Air Force. And then you got, China, their Navy, their Air Force, their Army, whatever else they have, the Russians, the other nations, the Iranians, whatever army they have, the Turkish armies, NATO and their armies, all those different countries that are part of NATO and their armies. That's a lot of people, and they're all going to be destroyed in an instant. It's like it's nothing. Yahushua is going to make this look effortless. And again, I'll read that again. I'll start from verse 10. The only thing I saw was what looked like a stream of fire coming out of his mouth. He sent a flaming wind from his lips and a storm of sparks from his tongue. The stream of fire, the flaming wind, and the great storm combined and swept down on the crowd that was coming to attack him and burned them all up. It's like it burned them all up in a single moment. That crowd too large to count vanished, and there was nothing left but powdery ashes and the smell of smoke. I was shocked when I saw what had happened. So even Ezra, he's seen his vision, and he's it shocked him. So I'll read this. This is Revelation 14 and verse 20. Actually, let me start Isaiah 63. Isaiah 63 and verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. This is Yahushua. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel? And he's coming from Basra. Hey, that's the capital of Edom. He's gonna do a lot of killing of the Edomites. Verse 2, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? So why are your clothes red? Why are you red? Why are your clothes red? What's going on? You look like you've been, you've been stomping grapes. You look like you've been making wine, which is symbolic for how much killing he's going to be doing. He's not literally going to have blood on him because he's going to be in a chariot. And I believe also it says, I will not meet thee as a man. So he's not going to be like there down on the ground fighting with a sword. No, he's going to be in his chariot, like I just read. And how much killing he's going to be doing is like he's been in making wine, been stomping grapes. Symbolic for how much killing he's going to be doing. Verse 3, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of all the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain my raiment. Now I'm going to go to Revelation 14. Let's see. I'll just get to the point in verse 20. Revelation 14 and verse 20. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and the blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles, by the space of 1,006 furlongs. Actually, let me start up a little bit. Revelation 14 and 19. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles. And that's symbolic to how much killing is going to be done, all the way up to the horses' bridles. Now, you have different heights for horses, like, somewhere like, 5 feet. And I think the tallest horse, I remember mentioning this in a lesson a while back, that I think some of the tallest horses are around like 7 feet tall. But that's a lot of killing. Just how much killing is going to be done for the blood to be that high, figuratively, speaking. In the space of 1,600 furlongs, I just read in the NLT, which I'll get this. This is Revelation 14 and verse 20 in the NLT. The grapes were trampled in the winepress outside the city, and blood flowed from the winepress in a stream about 180 miles long and as high as a horse's bridle. So, given that rough estimates, however long, 180 miles is, I think I think maybe the drive from Houston to Austin is somewhere close to that. It's close to 200 miles, I think. If not, it's close to that. So just imagine that how far a distance from Houston, Texas to Austin, Texas is. A river of blood that long, and then maybe anywhere from 5 to 8 feet deep, however tall a horse is. That's a lot of blood. That's a lot of killing. But just showing how much killing Yahushua is going to do when he returns, and how effortlessly he's going to do it. And Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakwadash, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and rest of your elect. Kwam Yasharallah, Shalom.